Blessings. We are here to tell you about wonderful new books on Christian dating and relationships from prominent evangelical leaders who haven't been caught in a gay scandal yet.
First is Your Best Date Life Now by Joel and Victoria Osteen. Are you tired of rejection and dates that lead nowhere but the bottom of a bottle of cheap tequila after you come home and realize no one will ever love you? Then you need to read the newest classic by renowned Pastor Joel Osteen and his lovely wife Victoria. Joel and Victoria teach you to forget your old self and even your true self in order to claim your fantasy self. You can be like Joel and Victoria. Don't you want a mildly attractive woman who is willing to dye her hair blonde and sit behind you to smile on cue?
Joel teaches you to invoke the favor of God and pray for that trophy wife or husband. God wants you to have a pretty wife or a rich husband. Christ died so that we could have what we want, like a beautiful relationship like Joel and Victoria's. And don't worry, Joel preaches the gospel glad, not the gospel sad, so you don't actually have to hear about Christ's death, just the parts that are an immediate benefit to you. Your best dating awaits you, and it will only cost you $19.95. If you order now, you will also receive a beautiful glossy 4x6 photo of Joel and Victoria suitable for framing.
Our next book is Chauvinist at Heart by John Eldredge. John Eldredge lets all men know what women really want and how God made man to be. Woman was created to be a helper, right? So John gives you new ideas on how to lead your woman into the role she was made for. She will find it a blessing to know how much she is needed when you let her know you need your clothes ironed, the house cleaned, dinner made, and a few kids to carry on your family name and legacy. Men need to live into their role as leaders too. Take charge. You have watched the History Channel and all the war footage. You know what compromise leads to. Nazis in Poland, and before you know it, France. No means no when you say it. And no means yes if your wife says it and you are in the mood.
Men need to reclaim their authority and power in relationships because that is what women really want. Eldredge tells you how to make the woman in your life feel helpless and worthless so you can treat her like the damsel in distress every day and rescue her. Women are princesses who long for their prince to rescue them. John will teach you different ways to make sure your woman realizes she needs you, like puncturing a small hole in her tire before she goes to work so she has to call you from the side of the road to rescue her, or giving her wrong directions so she ends up lost in the wrong part of town. Doesn't your woman deserve to be rescued, even if you have to endanger her yourself? Find out how to distress your damsel today in Chauvinist at Heart. Next up is Say Hello to Courtship or Say Goodbye in Court by Joshua Harris. Following up on his success with I Kissed Dating Goodbye and Boy Meets Girl, author Joshua Harris teaches us to embrace his views on courtship or risk a nasty legal separation in court that will result in God's utter disappointment in you. Relationships built on the old paradigm of dating and flirting only end in emotional, physical, and legal heartache, but relationships built on a long drawn-out courting have a less likely chance to be terminated by an activist judge in court. Keep both hands on the Bible and off your date now, so you won't have to put your left hand on the Bible in a witness stand later. Learn these helpful hints and more in Say Hello to Courtship or Say Goodbye in Court at your local Christian bookstore.
Our last book is Let God Write Your Marriage Plan, Getting What You Need Out of Your Relationship by Eric and Leslie Ludy. Fresh off the heels of their latest book When God Writes Your Love Story, Eric and Leslie Ludy let us know what God might have in store for us once we say, I do. Since God dictated the Bible to humans, we know that God actually wrote the Bible, and therefore God wrote the relationships in the Bible. These must be the relationships God wants us to have. With a careful look at relationships in the Bible, we too can learn how to get the most out of our significant romantic relationships. God knows that sometimes deception is the best way to get what you need. Men, if you are scared for your own life, do not hesitate to throw your wife under the bus, or in a king's harem if that is the case.
God also knows that men sometimes can be stubborn and hard-headed, and the only way to get what you need is to dress up as a prostitute and trick them. When God writes your marriage plan, you don't have to settle for only one wife. In fact, you can have 2 sisters, or a concubine or 2. When God writes your marriage plan, you'll learn that it is best to have multiple children and to pick one as your favorite, and make sure your other children know who your favorite is. Learn what God might have in store for you and how to get the most out of life and your relationship by letting God write your marriage plan.
I hope you will check out these wonderful new books about how you can best be in a God-centered relationship. A godly marriage is one where the man leads and the woman has babies. Women can make more babies so our churches won't die. Without new babies, our churches will have to resort to evangelism to fill the pews, and we don't want to do that. Plus, old people love to see babies. Make them happy and find a spouse today. Especially you women. If you don't have a baby in a God-ordained marriage, how will God love you? Every other woman will judge you. Your family will not be satisfied with any of your accomplishments until you land a husband. Order these books today so you can find a man before it is too late and you turn 25. You should have 3 kids by then.
With each order will you receive a pre-made pack of those stick family decals for the SUV or minivan that is in your future. Each packet comes with tall husband, shorter wife, 4 children, a baby, and a dog. You will want all of these stickers on your car so friends, neighbors, and strangers will know you love your family and that you must be happier than them. They can never know the truth that you are secretly miserable, tired, and never have time for yourself. Which is why we are also throwing in the new book, Putting on a Happy Face, How to Lie Back and Think of God, if you order this set of 4 new books today.
Don't forget to check out our commercials for other great new Christian products like Christ White Strips and Footprints in the Sand, a new movie starring Kirk Cameron. Blessings.